been something watching him come in the clubhouse the start of each year. Freshman year, just like, having the nerves that any normal freshman would. Last year, like, still working through it, acknowledging some of that stuff, and this year taking that big jump. You can see just how he approaches his batting practice every day. He's taking professional batting practice, going through his routine, not trying to be, it's hard when you hit with Jacob Craig or Turley. You watch them put balls off the hitter's eye or in the parking lot, and naturally you want to do the same thing. A little bit of ego in there, but I think he's pushed his ego aside in that sense and just said, this is what I'm really good at. I need to be able to push, drag. I need to be able to go gap to gap. And he does have a lot of power in there as well on the pull side that he can leave the house. And so it's fun watching him mature. I think that's just for any guy. Once you hit that junior year, you start walking a little bit taller. When you're a freshman, you just automatically feel like, hey, I shouldn't say anything. And so having been through a lot of that too, it's watching him talk to a lot of the younger guys and bring them along a lot sooner. I mentioned it to him last year. You're going to wait till your junior year to be great? And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It's just natural progression. As you get older and you have more reps, you start to believe in yourself a little bit more, and that confidence, that belief is something that is much more valuable than speed or arm strength or power potential. I mean, if you don't have confidence, you're never going to perform. And so it's great to see him coming to the field having that confidence every day.
Are you willing to reveal your starting rotation for the weekend at this point?
We'll just You're going to ask me? You've already asked everybody else. You guys already, do I even need to say anything on that one?
Yeah. You know one of them.
You know one. Yeah. Piecing it together.
Piecing it together. Well, I do know that Keljo's going to start Friday, and then Dax will be behind him, and then you've already heard some of the other pieces. But still pairing guys up, and early on guys are still building up pitch count. But these are all, every game is a big game, right? So, I want to make sure that we're thriving through the end of the season, but I also want to make sure that we're not, pushing guys to the limits right out the chute. And what's been nice is that we really like our pitching staff, top to bottom. The addition of our pitching lab and guys getting quality work in there has been phenomenal. The camaraderie, the young guys, the older guys, all blending really well together. And they're facing our offense, which is pretty strong, and sometimes they're like, I don't know, is my stuff not good enough? I'm like, hold on, you're also facing a really good offense, and you're having a lot of success on that. So it's been really fun to watch those guys develop and still trying to blend. I think the one consensus we have, it doesn't matter if you're starting or not. We're going to line guys up with the best spots for success. And if that means coming in and starting, but you might not go that long, fine. If it means going as long as humanly possible, great. If it means coming in and being a bridge guy, getting multiple touches, that's something that we've been building up for, is a lot of our bullpen arms getting multiple touches. Keljo has been out of the pen and now getting the role as a starter and having that routine. Excited to see what he does with that as well. But we've always liked when he came out of the pen, guns a-blazing and ripping that thing. So now that he's starting, I don't want him to think that he needs to be anything different. Go out there, he's strong as you could ever possibly be. So go out there and let it rip, man. Don't hold back. So, him being day one, Dax being day two, and he's been incredible. The guys love him. He continues to get better and better. And then obviously you guys have talked about with Kleine already. So. But I'm not going to tell him that. Maybe I'll just say maybe you are. Keep him on edge a little bit.
How did Eric kind of take that?
What?
Not being in that rotation after.
Eric wants to win. Eric's going to do whatever it takes. I don't know. We should have 4 games down there, right? And so we'll see when we see him. But I know he's going to pitch. I know he's been looking really sharp. But it also has to do with how guys are building up. And rarely do you get a guy like week one going out there and going 120 pitches. We're not going to do that. And so sometimes, especially with the depth that we have, Oaks is looking incredible. That's a guy who His breaking ball is really sharp right now. He's throwing a great changeup, and his fastball has a lot of life to the arm side, to the top of the zone, wherever he wants to go with it. White Queen as well is a guy who can go long, has a really good 4-pitch mix. Max Frazier as well. And so it's just like pairing these guys up to keep them fresh. If we start throwing guys 100 pitches right out the chute, then you probably should expect them to start falling off towards the second half of the season. We don't want that. So I think we're going to be smart and try to pair guys up accordingly in the right situations. We've looked over each of our opponents, got a pretty good idea, but still more to do to make sure that offensive or pitching wise, we're in a good spot for success. Yeah.
Obviously, you got a lot of former Beaver alumni on the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
What's the value of having so many alumni on the staff working together?
Care factor's through the roof, and we're very honest with each other. So I enjoy being in there because we've all been through it and we all know what we're fighting for. So there's no curve there. When you're getting a guy on staff, we all know what's at stake and how much. I mean, it's no different. The text thread with all of us guys from 6 and 7 on there, razzing each other. You know, every alumni group wants what's best for this place, and is willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen. And so, just the history there. I don't ever have to worry about someone showing up without having a great attitude. I know Wong's going to bring it. I know Dor's going to bring it. I know Zach Taylor's going to bring it. Dor, Gordon. Every day I walk in, Gordon like instantly, Skip. Go Beavs, you know, and last thing he says before he leaves, go Beavs. He's, you know, it brings energy to the table, which you need on a day basis. But, you know, it's like is the cold comes in or whatever, and guys aren't feeling necessarily that great. When you walk in and you got guys smiling, you got guys putting in real work, it motivates you to like, say, "Are you sick right now?" I don't think so, man. Not when I'm at the field. I'm never sick. You know, maybe temperature rises like a couple of days here and there, and you got the stuffy nose, but as soon as you show up to the field, none of that happens because you're around a lot of amazing people. You don't even think about how your body or what else is going on in the world. You just want to be there for the guys around you.
Kind of in that same vein, you have, you know, Andy Peterson at, you know, LB.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, when you bring in a guy like Kleinschmidt, there's an easy sort of connection there. What's, you know, the conversation with somebody like Peterson when you bring a kid in and you want the inside scoop, and is it easier just to have a connection like that?
I mean, you know, when you reach out and talk to other coaches about their student athletes, you know, I mean, they all love the guys that they have on their roster, right? They're their kids and they're pushing them. They want what's best for them. I think Andy, also having played here, knows the type of person that is expected to play here. So there's a strong understanding. You know that a guy like PD is going to develop the guys. You know that he really cares about them. I mean, shoot, we went to the Tim Tebow event, Night to Shine, last week, and the whole Lynn Benton team was there. And we had, you know, a dozen of our guys show up to that event. And so, you know, you're there at 4:30 and you're done at 9 o'clock. And I showed up over there and, you know, everyone's dancing the night away and partnered up and had the red carpet out. It was a beautiful event, but like watching how Petey does it, he does it the right way and make sure his guys are getting involved in giving back and out there competing really hard on the field. And there's a lot of other coaches out there, especially in the NWAC, that to like really work on developing not just athletes, but like good men. And so having relationships like the one with PD, having relationships with other coaches here in the Northwest, I mean, I think that's something we should and always need to have, is collaboration and making sure that we're doing what's right for baseball here in the Northwest. Not many people really understand what it's like because they haven't been here. And yeah, is it a little chilly? Is it, you know, a little bit of precipitation? Sure, but it also should be something that we're excited about, that we get to do this and other people don't. No different than, you know, if it's chilly out there, you guys were just outside, it's beautiful out, right? And there's other places in the country, they got snow on the ground and it's raining elsewhere, but everyone says it's gnarly weather up here, and I'm looking outside like, I'm excited to get outside and play some ball today. So, you know, I think that people just get confused and frustrated with the stuff they don't understand, but once you're here and a part of that group, and you have a community like that from PD and all the other coaches here in the Northwest, I think it's just like people are missing out on something special.
On kind of that same line, Ethan doesn't exactly come from a baseball factory. He's playing Class 2A high school baseball, and I know that this program has a long tradition of bringing in guys like that and turning them into very good players. But what was that process like from you guys first seeing him to him getting here and kind of turning into the kid who everybody seems really excited about now?
Yeah, well, obviously he's a good-sized human being, right? Left-handed, which I know a lot of people get excited about right away. He's left-handed, but watching him compete. That's always the big thing, is watching him compete, right? You see that, and there's a different monster in there filling up the strike zone. He didn't really walk a lot of guys last year, and it jumps on hitters. So watching how good hitters react to seeing his stuff tells you a lot of the story too. And then also, you know, getting to know him and understand what makes him tick and what his wants and needs are. It didn't matter if he's starting on the weekend or not. The reality is, when we sat down and have a meeting about what does the role look like, it could be starting, it could be long relief, it could be this, it could be that. He goes, okay, I've only been a starter, but whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. And that was no surprise to any of us, his response to that kind of stuff. So learning about the character, I mean, you always watch the talent, but you spend a lot more time getting to know the person and seeing if they're going to be the right fit for the clubhouse and someone that we're going to be able to help get better and coach. And so Dora's relationship, talking with our current players, our recruits, is huge, and he's a guy who loves them more than anything as well. It's almost tough because, like, as every year you get new players, you know, that your family grows, and so staying in touch with all of them. I don't know how he does it, but Dora stays in touch with every pitcher he's ever had, and not just here, but at Grand Canyon and through the Mariners organization. He's just got a huge heart, and each of our coaches are like that. So it's watching that relationship get built with Kleinschmidt, and watching him come here and continue to grow. And I could see why why any of our hitters, fear facing him because his stuff's that good, but also love him and are excited to, like, play defense behind him and go score runs for him.
Obviously, you guys are first season being independent, only 20 home games, and you guys are kind of starting off on the road for a little bit. So some of that nomad lifestyle, a little bit of grit too.
Yeah.
How do you keep the team engaged with a lot of traveling, as well as creating that next man up mentality with the team that everyone's going to have to step up and participate in their role on the team?
Well, I mean, we haven't gone through it. A lot of these guys haven't gone through it yet. You know, so we'll have to just pay very close attention as the season goes on. I mean, like tomorrow's practice, we're going to modify it a little bit just to make sure we're feeling fresh. A handful of guys, you know, were under the weather last week. And we want to make sure we're going into the season, you know, well rested, but also, I mean, these guys are ready to compete. So it's hard to sit here and keep practicing when all they want to do is go play. And then, like, teaching them the little things like how to travel, riding the bus, being on a plane, bringing joy to the field every day. And we have a handful of guys, like, that I'm very confident, even if they were running off of 1-2 hours of sleep because of travel or whatever, they couldn't sleep, that they'd go out and compete because they love the game, they love to compete that much. So, you know, I don't know, it's like, what a great opportunity to do something that other people see as hard and show them that it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of these trips guys are looking forward to, whether it's going to Hawaii or Iowa or Nebraska or you name it, like going to California for a couple weeks. We get to be around each other all day, and that makes it fun. You know, it's not just going to the hotel and sitting in your room waiting for the next game. The meals that we get to share together, I know the guys like to play Mafia, those games on the bus, or, you know, playing cards, or just talking about life, going and checking out some of the areas that we're in. There have been times, I remember when we went to Hawaii when I was playing, and we all went to the beach together. We've been down in Southern California, same thing. Let's take a trip out to the beach and check it out and go tour around. And so there's time, you know, that you need to step away and not just obsess about yesterday's game or what's happening tonight. You prepare yourself, you stay confident, and you move forward. So I think there's a lot of experience in the coaching staff with all that travel, and I think we got a lot of returners that are so excited to go play the game that I'm not overly concerned with it. But obviously, anytime something's going on in the season, you just want to pay attention to how their bodies, their minds, and everything is kind of flowing, and stay ahead of it.
Yeah, I threw a flat ground yesterday. My arm feels good in case you need me.
Our pitching staff's pretty good. You're gonna have to show some real stuff.
You don't want 70 feet on the corners? I got you.
Are we throwing from 60 feet, or are we moving it in?
Maybe a little bit of a side arm, not gonna tail
Well, I'm excited for you.
it. Yeah.
That's the last question.
I know we gave away some of the trade secrets already, but any ideas of what the top of the lineup? Obviously Baz had that lock for a long time, but
He's not here anymore.
I know. But okay, do you want one guy to have that kind of locked in? Are you going to change that up? Are you?
I haven't discussed it with any of the guys. Again, the idea is show up whatever is in front of you and like own it. And so, even when we scrimmage, I'll move guys around the lineup all the time. We've done that. Joe gave me like a hard time for constantly moving the lineup, and sometimes it's just seeing what today brings. How one guy is behind the other ones. There are some guys that really can perform and not think about being a DH, and there are other guys that struggle just from being in that position and having the downtime in the dugout. There are other guys that maybe you can put behind someone in the order, and it's going to help them just as protection. What's our approach on a given day? But really there's a handful of guys, like, you want your best hitters to get up as many times as possible. And so if you take, your best hitter and you put him 4 or 5 over the course of a season, you're missing out on 30, 40 at-bats that guy could have got if you hit him leadoff. I think what I'm seeing is all of our guys want to hit leadoff, right? They just want to get up as many times as possible to produce runs. And so that's encouraging. I think there's a lot of flexibility where guys could be up in the front, but I don't know. I mean, Arquette's a phenomenal bat. TC's a phenomenal bat. Turley also. Craig is going to, I think, shock and awe a lot of minds this year with what he's capable of doing, and he has been doing right now. Dallas Macias as well. You move around, Singer, like Trotsky, Peterson, Weber, also how he's playing free and easy. Wait till you watch him throw the ball to second base. I know everyone's seen his arm, but it's like it's found another gear. Hubbard, and the list goes on. You could sit here and say, okay, I'd feel good pulling names out of a hat and going, that's our lineup today, and feeling really confident that group is going to go out and perform at a high level. So it's a really good feeling to have. But also, you're going to play in some tough competition. You want to make sure that you're not just pulling names out of a hat. There's strategy to it. I'm excited to see what I do on day one.
See what names come out of the hat.
So,
Thanks, Mitch.
right on, guys.
Thanks, Mitch.
Cheers. Be good.
Appreciate it.